Okay, so this video is another attitude of gratitude video, which has come after, 1 second. Thank you. I have a puppy at my feet chewing on a bone, if you hear sound. So for a couple of days I was, there it goes. For a couple of days I was pretty down, and what I mean by down is I was not experiencing what I would call illness. I didn't feel ill. The body didn't feel sick. I wasn't having symptoms of sick. I was having, just a minute. Okay, I'm back. So I was experiencing some kind of body issues, and this body has been going through some changes, in the last couple years, pretty intensely. So this one, I fully believe has everything to do with gut health. That has been an issue, chronic issue throughout this lifetime for me. My gallbladder was removed, and I was in my, let me think, 20, I think I was 22, 23 when the gallbladder was removed, at my request, because I didn't know then the things that I know now. So having to figure out now that, more than 20 years later, what I'm going to do with the changes of my body and how things seem to be escalating. So my husband ran out for me and got some supplements, because I really felt like I was really close to like organ failure, like the whole system was going to shut down. Many things going on, I think some of which were that I wasn't absorbing some nutrients properly, and on and on and on. So one thing I've had to do different times in my life when these stomach issues would become pretty complicated, I would have to go off of coffee and not drink coffee. The last time I was having some serious stomach issues, we started putting some baking soda in the coffee, in the ground coffee when we would brew it, and that helped because it seemed to reduce some of the acidity, and made it more tolerable to my system. Because I do love coffee. That has been my drink. While this whole stomach thing was going on, and my husband said, I think maybe you need to go off the coffee or find an alternative, and I cried, because coffee's like, I would say, my last vice. The thing that I really, really liked about my day, aside from food, because I do like food, but good food, I like good food, but coffee. So I went off of coffee for a day out of necessity, not because I wanted to, but because I absolutely could not drink it. And even though, like I said, even though we were putting the baking soda in to alkalize it a little, to reduce the acid, okay? Not so far as to alkalize it, but to reduce the acidity. So I went a day without coffee, a little more than a day. And when I came back and my stomach was feeling better after the supplements and the vitamins and the probiotics, and I poured myself a cup of coffee and realized how very strong it tasted, even with, you know, the baking soda that just a tiny little bit, but it was enough at that time when we were doing it. And I realized how very strong it tasted, and I thought, well, that's really weird, because I made it the same as I always did, and it had only been a day since I had had any. And I had cried at the possibility that I wouldn't be able to drink coffee anymore, because I really enjoyed my coffee. But tonight I am making this video because I'm grateful. And the reason I am grateful is through this process, I have some powders that, like ginger and licorice, and that I've been playing around with in cooking, cayenne pepper, but I've never really been into spices because of my stomach issues. So tonight I was inspired to make a drink, a hot drink, and this hot drink had a small amount of lemon juice, some raw honey, cayenne pepper, ginger powder, and some licorice root powder. And I brought water almost to a boil, but not quite, because I know sometimes when you bring things to a boil, they lose a lot of their benefits, nutritional benefits. So I brought the water to near boiling, but not quite, and steeped this brew, and then I strained as much of the powder off that didn't want to play well. Licorice root is an amazing powder, but it doesn't dissolve in water real well. So, and cayenne pepper kind of floats in there, but it is okay. But I sat down and I started sipping at this drink, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Like it tastes really good. And this is something that, you know, in the evening hours, maybe after 6 or 7 o'clock, I can switch to this and cut back on my coffee intake, at least, because I was an all day, all night drinker of coffee. So I can get used to drinking something different in the evening hours, and it feels like, as I'm sipping on this drink, it feels like it's really beneficial to the body. Like the body is happy about it. I can feel it. So I did have some ice cream tonight, and I even experimented with that because I like ice cream, certain ice cream, and you know, I don't eat just any ice cream. It has to be a certain flavor and blah, blah, blah. But so I had my 2 scoops of ice cream, and I like to dip pretzels in my ice cream. So, but tonight I was like, I wonder what would happen if I sprinkled it with cayenne pepper, just because, why not, right? Let's try that and see how that goes. So I sprinkled cayenne pepper all over my ice cream. My son was horrified. And it was actually really good. It was actually really good. And the difference was it felt good going in. So it felt lighter somehow when I was actually taking that into the body. So, and I didn't seem like 2 scoops was plenty. And I think that's the cayenne pepper too. I think that's one of the benefits of the cayenne pepper is it decreases appetite, I think. So all it did was really give it like a hot sensation, but it wasn't, actually it brought out the flavors in the ice cream. So I had a peanut butter flavor ice cream and a chocolate flavored ice cream. I had a scoop of each, small scoop of each. And anyway, it doesn't matter, but I like those little porcelain dishes that are like, you can bake in them. Right now the name is escaping me, but I love those little dishes, and so that's what I have my ice cream in. I use them more like dessert cups than baking things, but anyway, you can bake in them. That's what they're for. But it really brought out the peanut butter flavor, and it really brought out the chocolate flavor in the chocolate ice cream. And so I think that's going to be a thing for me now. If I'm going to have ice cream, I think I'm going to put that on it. And so, but Cassiopeia. Okay, so this video is just to say I am grateful, even in my resistance to these changes. I am very grateful that I'm being blessed with alternatives as time progresses and things progress, and the need for change is coming more and more and more for many of us. I'm so grateful that I'm being blessed with these alternatives, and that I don't have to feel like I'm losing anything, that I'm just given something different. And so watch as you experience your life and the days and the things that come to pass. I knew that whatever I was experiencing within this body was either going to end the body, or it was going to bring about a change of some sort. And so, I was like, okay, well, whatever, it's gonna be. And the husband wanted to take me to the hospital and all this stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm not going. I am willing to get some vitamins and get some supplements and see if that makes the change, but I'm not willing to go to hospital. So so that's what I agreed to. He wasn't happy about it, but that's what I said I was willing to do. And so he got lots of vitamins and and supplements, and I'm taking those now, and this new drink seems to be working out well. So as things change, even though, there was a part of me that was like, whatever this is, I'm down with whatever it is. If it means the end of the body, I'm okay with that. If it means that it's precipitating a change, that there is going to be a change that comes from this, I'm okay with that. Even though I was resisting losing something, right? Because my mind was, oh no, I have to give this up now. Seek ye first the kingdom. Seek ye first the kingdom. You have to want that more than anything. It has to be more important than anything, which could be something as simple as your coffee, could be something as simple as your soda, or whatever it is that you hearken to, or that you think gets you through the day, or, and change is here. We are in the midst of it. And so just be mindful that change does not mean we have to give up. Change means there is an alteration. There is an alteration. There is a transformation, which can be better. We can enjoy more than what we have been doing, right? So now I have this new drink I get to play and experiment with, and so far I really like it, and it makes the body feel good. My coffee, I really liked my coffee, but it didn't really make my body feel good. Coffee is supposed to be a stimulant, and it really didn't do that for me. I've been drinking it since I was like 11 or 12 years old, so it really didn't give me that stimulate, that up energy increase, none of that. It didn't do that for me anymore. So it's really interesting, and I just want to put this out there to say that in the midst of the change, no, you don't have to do without. You don't have to be in a state of lack. One second. I had a tickle. This is the time when we are going to find the things that truly benefit us in many, many ways. And so just keep that in your focus, that this is happening for me, not to me. It is for my good. I called it into being for my betterment, for my growth, for my enjoyment. And it must be so, even if I can't see it in this moment. And because things are happening so rapidly today with the new energies coming in, we don't have to wait very long before we see that benefit, before we see that thing that's going to reclaim, that's going to claim the space of the old, that thing that's going to come into our awareness that is now allowing us to move to another level of health, of restoration. Okay, so that's all this is for, is kind of keep the faith, be positive, and by be positive, I don't mean fake it. I mean, there is truly something better around the corner when we are asked or forced, or within our own bodies, when our bodies start saying, okay, enough of this, and that's going to continue to happen as the body rises to the new level. It will no longer tolerate certain things as it once did. Okay, not to say we can't have those things, but we're not going to be able to live on them as we once did. And so we will continue to see these changes throughout the coming years. And not to scare anyone, but that just is the truth. So just remember, there is something better. There is something better for you. There is something better, because you are calling it to yourself. You are calling to yourself the changes that must be made to elevate you to the next level. In peace and love, may you be blessed.